Hey everybody, it's me, the Blue Knight again. So I enjoyed making the last vlog video where I do the collage, so I'm gonna try to do that again, but this time like a collage of my top 20 favorite manga, and just sort of like talking about like how I'm gonna make the collage and stuff because I really like making these. Sorry about that. Okay, so for this one, usually like I try to do is I like to put my like number one favorites in the middle. But I think but that won't work with this type of grid. So instead, I'm gonna try to do it from like darkest to lightest. Top. Okay then. So then I think. Let's see. Look. Okay. Probably the one that's darkest would be the Hunter x Hunter pick because it's got a lot of like the deep inks. So I picked this picture for Hunter x Hunter because like one of the main themes that I really like about it is like the themes about like taking detours, how like because in Hunter x Hunter it's very much like the detours are what's matter about the adventure. It's not the destination. It's about all the other stuff you do because like there's a bunch of stuff Gon ends up doing in his journey to find his dad that isn't necessary but still makes the journey wild. Like even his friendship with I'm sorry, I'm having tongue twisters with Killua. We're just gonna pretend I pronounced it correctly. Is in itself a detour, and their friendship is like one of the most important parts of the manga. Just in general, love it, and so I particularly love the scene of Gon with Kaichen's men seeing the birds on the mountain they mentioned earlier together, and I like it because it's a perfect example of like the beauty of the detours in the moment to the adventure. Let's see. Which pick? Okay, yeah. You know what? Here, let me see which one of these two picks looks. Okay, yeah, this one looks good. So next up is Lost Canvas, which is a manga which was the last thing I finished at the end of the end of last year, and I really do love this manga. In particular, I really love the conflict between Tenma and Alone and Athena because I really like conflicts between former friends in which one friend wants to save the other friend from falling down the dark path. And in Lost Canvas, Tenma's main goal is to defeat Hades and save his friend Alone, who has been, who has become Hades' host and has been corrupted by him. And so my favorite fight in the manga is sort of like the final fight between Tenma, Athena, and Alone. So I decided to pick this picture from the fight, which is like all three of them like facing off, and I just really love how it looks. Like it's just the art in Lost Canvas is amazing. I just wish the English spreads were better because some of them are just like unreadable because sometimes they really fuck up the inking. But yeah, so I chose this pick because specifically it has all three of them. So I think it does a really good job of like showcasing this conflict. But I also really love the art of like Tenma having the Pegasus silhouettes and Shasta having like Athena statue, because it really does have this idea of like this battle of like galactic proportions. And I really do think the picture does a good job of showcasing the main conflict of the manga and sort of representing what I really like about it. Though I picked this picture specifically because it's like a 2-page spread, because the picture I tend to usually use for Last Canvas is the picture from the end of the manga with all three of them holding their hands together with wrapped around the flower bracelets to defeat Hades, which is just probably the best panel in the manga. But this is probably like the second favorite one just because it's a really good spread that shows sort of the conflict of the main conflict of the manga. So, okay, let me check one thing. Okay, yeah, so next up is the picture I picked for My Monster Secret, which is basically like the ending panel. And I love this because just my favorite part of My Monster Secret is definitely the ending, but it's also sort of the bond between all the characters and sort of like that idea of like high school graduation and enjoying your time with with your friends, and sort of the idea of like sometimes you can even hold on to those bonds. And I think this spread is just, not only does it look so dang good, but I think it does a really good job at showing off the friendship between these characters and the idea that like even after high school, even when they've gone their separate ways, they'll still be connected because this time of their life is just that important and they won't forget anytime soon, which is something I really like. Okay, so for the next pick, I've got Inuyasha, which was like another manga I finished near the end of last year, and I really liked it. Like, it's got so much stuff that I love. I really love the romance between Kagome and Inuyasha. I love the fights. I loved Inuyasha and Kagome themselves as characters. Like, Inuyasha is a very fun, like, bratty character. Like, he's sort of like, he's kind of like, he's very much delinquent-y and like sort of like a bad boy, but it's in this like very kind of cute and earnest way, because like, even though he definitely just started off as a complete asswipe, you definitely see his soft side early on, and you see how much he's willing to fight and protect the people he cares about, and he very much is somebody who holds on to that humanity, even if at the beginning he wanted to be rid of it because he thought he would be better as just a pure demon. And I picked this picture specifically because, like, not only is it just like a gorgeous two-page spread, I think it does, and I really like the imagery of their first meeting, because it just, like, the imagery of this panel is so dang good, with like Kagome seeing and Inuyasha like covered in the vine, sealed by the tree, like the sort of like Kagome's like, I don't know what to call it, after image. It's just so dang cool. But I picked it because like Inuyasha and Kagome's relationship is like the heart of the manga, so I wanted to do a picture that sort of like had both of them. And I just love the imagery, and it sort of fit the format, so this was the one I went with. Now then, let's see. What's the next pick? You know, saying this like got enough dark but not too light. Oh yeah, definitely the actually, okay, yeah, definitely the. Now I gotta crop this one in. All right. There we go. Perfect. Okay, yeah. So let's see. Let's compare it. You know, there's enough like the bright white in here in which I can see like putting it after this one, because I feel like this one's got a bit more like darks in it. But yeah. So this picture is, of course, probably the most iconic moment from the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga, which is like Atem leaving for the afterlife. And of course I picked this image because like not only is it straight up iconic, but like one of the things I really love about Yu-Gi-Oh is sort of like the bond between Atem and Yugi, and sort of like, and well, I really would have liked to get a picture of like both of them, or like just a picture of Yugi. Like originally I was thinking of using the very last page in the manga, which is like the one of Yugi saying his story has just begun, but it just didn't fit the format as well, so I went with this picture instead, which is like not only a compliment with the series, but it also definitely like, it's basically Yugi saying goodbye to Atem and like wishing him the best, and it's just sort of like, it's just such a beautiful moment that sort of symbolizes their friendship, as well as like what this series has ultimately been about. Next up, let's do, yeah, actually let's do comparison. Which one? No, here, let's switch them. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, yeah. So next up is the Crimson Smash moment from Twin Star Exorcist. Now, I fucking, okay, sorry for the cursing. I flipping love this manga so much. Like, it's got so much shit I love, and it's got like romance and action. It's like the art style is so dang good. Like, it's so stylistic, and I love how the weapons and attacks all look. But especially, I really love the romantic relationship between Rokuro, I'm sorry, I'm gonna pronounce their names wrong because I'm stupid and I am bad at names, and Bino. I just really love their romance, and particularly I love this spread because not only is it Bino showing up to help Raccoon, like arguably in one of his most difficult and personal battles, but it's very much like a callback to their team attacks, because like when they figured out that they could like they could combine their powers for more powerful attacks, they came up with these like specific names, and Crimson Smash is one of them. So this is not only just an amazing callback to that, but it's also just a perfect pace to represent their relationship, as well as like what the manga is about. And I really do love it. And I also love how this is presented in the manga, because originally like it's because like before this two-page spread, there's another two-page spread of just Rockro holding his hand out, and then bam, we get the next page with Bino showing up, and it's just like, it's a fucking clap moment. It's so good. So damn good, man. Ugh. Okay, next up is Medaka Box, which is a manga I just really love. Like, Medaka is probably one of my favorite female characters in, like, all of fiction. And I think what I love about her so much is that she's just such a genuinely good person, and someone who just has this, like, love for everybody, and it's so admirable. Like, she's the type of hero that kind of wants to save everyone, even her enemies, and that just is, I love characters like that. That is, like, peak Blue Core. So dang good, man. I love it. And this spread, I really just, because usually I tend to use, like, the spread that's, like, sort of the picture of the moon, and it's, like, the collage of all of Medaka's important moments from their life. And I do love that spread, but I wanted to try something different. And this is something I've wanted to use, but, like, I could never get to fit the grid format before, but this is finally one which I was able to get to fit. And I just really love this spread because it sort of, like, embodies everything I love about Madoka. That, like, the reason why she does everything she does, the reason why she keeps moving forward, and the reason why she fights is that at the end of the day, she loves people. Every person she meets with, every person she gets to know, every connection she makes her love the world itself, and she grows to admire more and more people, which I think is just, like, it's so damn good. And this, I don't know, just everything I love about Medaka in one panel. And I also really love how, like, all the other characters throughout the series are here. It's just like, oh, it's so good. So good, dude. Oh! Okay. Okay, now I need to figure out which panel to put next. You know what, this is probably... Let me do some comparisons. Yeah, this one's definitely got more widening than this one's about. Okay, yeah. Now we gotta do some cropping now for the Naruto spread. Okay. There we go. Now then, let's try just... Okay, it's in the middle. Now let's see. Let's see how much more we can further back and still get to work. Okay. Let's see if we can do even further. Okay, no, we gotta get to... Let's try just 39 and see. Okay, no, we gotta get 40. And... yeah, that's close enough. So, yeah. So, this is probably one of the panels I would really like to use for Naruto a lot. Besides the one of them, like, holding their hands made of blood at the end of the battle. Like, I really love this moment because... one, not only is it fucking cool as shit, because it's like the Suzunoho and like the perfect Kurama QB avatar, like fist bumping, and it's so powerful that it causes the waves to create tsunamis. It's not only so cool, and I really love how, I actually kind of prefer how this panel looks in colors, because the Suzunoho is purple, and the Kurama Chakra avatar is yellow, which are complementary colors, which sort of does a very good job at visually showing the duality between Naruto and Sasuke, which is still achieved in the black and white, but like I feel like it's better achieved with the colors, because like even though there's a bit of a contrast with like the Kurama being mostly white and the Suzunoho being like a dark gray, I think the colors sort of like helps show that better. But also what I love about this is like, because the best part of Naruto, the very core of it, is sort of the conflict and relationship between Naruto and Sasuke. So of course, when you're like representing Naruto and collage, you want a picture of Naruto and Sasuke in some way. And what I love about this is because not only is it them clashing, but since it's a fist bump, which is, you know, typically a like sort of bro, but the attack is also technically a bro fist, which is like, you know, a symbolic gesture between two men who view each other in some way as brothers. And so it's just like so cool, because that is sort of what Naruto and Sasuke's relationship is. They kind of view each other. Well, it is a bit more on Naruto's side at the beginning, because he himself sort of views Sasuke as a brother, which Sasuke at first doesn't. It's more like Sasuke doesn't really. It's a bit complicated, but I definitely feel like by the end of the series, they both mutually view each other as brothers in some way, which I really like. And just everything about this panel, this spread is awesome, and I love it, and I always like using it because it's just such a cool fucking spread. It's like it's a fist bump that causes tsunamis between a giant Suzunoho and a giant Nine-Tails Fox Demon. It's the coolest thing ever. And if you don't think it's cool, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. Okay, it's that cool. Okay, it's amazing cool. Okay, next up, okay, let's do a bit more. Is the is the ending of Pandora's Heart, and like what Pandora's Heart recently became my fifth favorite manga. It's a manga I read in high school and really loved, but I never got to finish it because my high school didn't have all the volumes, and I was finally able to finish it this year, and I adored it. Like, the aesthetic is just so damn good. It's like gothic horror, but like in this really cool stylized anime format, and it's so dang pretty, and the characters are awesome. And my favorite character is definitely Alice, because she is so dang cute, so dang lovable, and her personality, the way she like interacts with Oz and Gilbert, is the best. Love it, love it, love it. And this is the sort of spread I chose. Originally I wanted to do the one where in which everybody's taking a picture from the unbirthday, but because it just didn't fit as well, so I chose this instead, which is Gilbert finally seeing Oz and Alice again after 100 years, because they essentially died and then eventually became reincarnated. And since Gilbert is basically an immortal, basically close enough to immortal, like he will eventually die, but it's more like he's able to live like a super long time and stuff. And so I love this scene because it's them being reunited, but it's also them getting reunited at Lancey's grave, which is where Oz first found which is like sort of where the story began, where Oz found the watch. And so it's just not only is the artwork beautiful, because this page is so dang pretty with the light effects and everything, but it's also just such a powerful moment to see Gilbert finally reunited to his two closest friends in the world. Like, this relationship between Oz, Alice, and Gilbert is probably one of my favorite trios in fiction. Like, it's not my favorite trio, because that's always Sora, Donald, and Goofy, because they're the fucking best. But these guys are also just such a damn good trio, and I just really love them. And it's just seeing them be happy together after a story that's filled with so much tragedy and misery, and seeing this like happy ending. Getting to see these characters happily reunited is just so dang good. It makes me want to cry, dude. Oh, I love it. Okay. And now then, let's see. I think I know what I'm going to do next, but let's do some comparisons. Hang on. Let's just put this in the game, because I know the Sailor Moon was going on there, because definitely the lightest picture, but now then. Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. Am I forgetting a picture? Ah, shoot. I forgot a picture for Tsurezure Children, or however that manga's pronounced. Okay, hang on a minute. Okay, now then, let me just compare some images. Yeah, let's do this one first. Okay, but now let's check this one. I feel like there's okay, there we go. There we go, that works. Okay, now then, let's do some cropping for this to make this work. Okay, that's good. But, it's a bit cropped too much, so we're gonna have to go a bit back just so we can get the... Alright, there we go. Okay. So next up is I'm probably gonna pronounce this name wrong. This for the manga wrong. Sorry. Tsurezure Children. Again, I definitely mispronounced that, and I'm super sorry. And so I picked this spread because it's basically like the confession we've all been waiting for. Because it's basically like it's finally getting to see that confession that was teased for us at the very beginning of the manga, with the very first couple of the series. As you know, because the whole manga started with the first couple, with the girl trying to confess to the guy. I'm sorry, I can't remember the characters' names. I'm horrible at remembering characters' names. Sorry. Of basically her trying to confess to the guy she likes, and at the end of the first chapter, there's a gag about how she isn't able to make the confession, so she promises that she'll confess to him the next day, and the guy's of course dumbfounded because she just admitted that she wanted to confess to him. without actually confessing to him. So it's really hilarious. And at the end of the series, we finally get to see this confession. And it's so good, man. Because, like, we've been waiting this whole series for We've seen them grow and become better people. And then we see her finally able to make the confession. And she's, like, crying her eyes out, finally admitting she loves him. And then he finally admits he loves her back, too. And they kiss. And it's so good, man. And I chose this spread. Because, like, I definitely feel like it's the most important two-page spread in the manga. And it's so good, and I love it. Okay, next up we have, and I'm definitely going to mispronounce this series name because it is hard to pronounce. It's hard to pronounce for, like, a white person. For, like, you know, me, a dude who's lived all his life in America speaking only English. I'm going to pronounce the name terribly wrong. I'm so sorry. Dokikuya Karisi X Kanojo. Yeah, this is one of my favorite mangas. Because it is short, but it is also so dang sweet. I fucking love the relationship between these two fucking dorks. Because they love each other so dang much. And the fact that they are so expressive and over the top in their love is so amazing. And seeing their relationship progress throughout the series, from the highs and lows until they get married. And you see them get married. And the wedding is so dang good. Like, the protagonist's mom even cries. And it's feels over. And I love the wedding. And so I definitely had to pick a picture of the wedding. And I decided to go with this one because, like, it just looks so good. It fits the format. And it's just like, them, like, sort of, like, walking together onto the wedding. Which is cool because usually, like, the guy's first. And then he waits for the girl. But here they're walking together. And it's so good. It's so good. I know I'm just repeating myself. But I don't care. This manga is amazing. And more people should read it. If you haven't read it, read it now. Pretending that you're old enough to read it. Because there's sex in this manga. There's a sex scene. So, like, if you can't read stuff with sex scenes, don't read this. If you're 5, and I don't know why you're watching this video, because you shouldn't, don't read this manga. Anyway, next up is the picture I chose for Rakudo no Onatachi. Again, another name I probably horribly butchered, because I'm the worst. Again, I'm sorry. But, so this is the spread I chose to represent the series because, like, I definitely feel like the heart of the series is definitely the relationship between these two, and sort of like Rokudo's determination to reform her from, like, a bad girl to, like, a upstanding person, and sort of like he desperately wants to give her the happy school life because the main premise of the manga is basically like, he's at the school full of delinquents. He gets bullied all the time. So he and his friends, like, try to use the seal he got from his grandfather. Okay, I'm sorry for the barking. My dog won't shut up. I don't know why, but that's probably going to be in the video. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so back to the manga. So, yeah, basically, he has this seal on his forehead that makes bad women, basically like delinquent women or criminals, attracted to him. So, like, she, who's, like, the most deadly delinquent in the whole town, ends up falling for him, and the manga is based around their sort of relationship as it progresses, as he wants to end up performing her, and he generally ends up falling for her. So I chose this thread because it's like it definitely does a good job at portraying the relationship. I'm sorry for the dog; he's being so dang annoying. Anyway, but yeah, I chose this spread because, it symbolizes their relationship and how much he wants to help her and, like, how much he wants them both to achieve this happy school life, and it's cute and adorable and blah 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 blah. All right, on to the next. Okay. Oh shoot, wrong page. Okay then. Okay, let's see. Next up is. Let's see if I'm doing this right. Have on the series. Oh yeah. Next up is Nisekoi. All right. Yeah, I think that works good enough. Like, it's like you probably won't be able to understand it if you haven't familiar with the series, but if you are familiar, you definitely probably get it. And I know. Let's switch. Would these be better? It probably should switch them because I feel like there's definitely a bit more light in the other one. So yeah, so let's. Yeah, I feel like this works better. Actually. Should I, like, do... no, I think this still works. Okay, yeah. So with Nisekoi, so this is basically the ending of Nisekoi, and I chose this picture because the best part of Nisekoi is definitely the relationship between Raku and Chihigo. They are the best. They are fucking adorable. One of my favorite couples in all fiction. I love them so much. Oh, they're so dang cute and adorable. And I picked this panel specifically not just because it's the ending, but it's also them kissing for the first time in the series. And it's just so powerful seeing, like, these characters who've been waiting the whole time to get together. And, like, they technically get to put out it before this, but this is the first time we see them kissing right before they're about to get married. And, feels after feels after feels so good. Oh, I'm sorry, sounding like an idiot, but I'm just so full of emotions right now. But yeah, I love Nisekoi. I love their relationship. And I love this two-page spread because it's so pretty. And I do kind of like the cheekiness that we kind of don't, that the kiss is sort of obscured, but we see enough of it. And it's so good. So good, man. Oh. Okay, now then. I probably, I feel like I'd probably move this down a bit. Okay. Next up is, you know what? Let's put this here. And I feel like, let's compare them. Yeah, we should probably put them in. Okay, next up is Saint Seiya. Now then, Saint Seiya is, like, in my top 10 favorite manga, and I love it because it's very much a story that is told. It is most battle shonens are basically stories being told through fights. That's why they're called battle. Sort of like the point of the story is telling film. But Saint Seiya is probably the fights are the story manga, because, like, so much of the character's development and the way the story is progressed and told is through the fights. And that's just sort of like why I kind of love the manga so much, but also because it's this really beautiful story about love and brotherhood and sort of like the bonds between human beings, and like the strength humanity has over gods is the fact that we love one another, that we care for each other, and we don't reject these feelings out of arrogance or entitlement. Instead, we, like, sort of like choose to be connected to each other. And for Saint Seiya, I chose the last manga, the ending of it, because not only does it have the main 5 saints, Seiya, Shun, and all the others, but also because, like, it is them restoring the light to the world after Hades tried to kill everything in an attempt to create a world of pure darkness for his own selfish desires. And I love it because it not only, like, is it a beautiful spread showing that light, love, and life has returned to the world, but it's also showing how Seiya and the saints themselves are this embodiment of light. They are the ones who will not only protect this world, but ensure that it stays that it is a world filled with love and light, because they are Athena's guardians. It is their job to protect that. And I love how this final two-page spread symbolizes it. Okay, so next up is the two-page spread for my 4th favorite manga, Rosario+Vampire. And I picked this spread because it embodies, because not only is it pretty as fuck, it looks so dang good. The artwork in Rosario+Vampire, especially towards the end, is so pretty. It's so good. I cannot express how much I love it. It's gothic horror, mixed beauty, and it's the best thing ever. I love it. Oh! I chose this spread because it's basically Tsuzuki letting go of his humanity and becoming a full vampire in order to save the woman he loves, Mocha. And I love it because, like, earlier in the series, Sukune, sorry, I mispronounced his name horribly earlier because I'm stupid. But yeah, Skune, yeah, I think it's pronounced Skune. Skune was at first, when he took Mocha's blood in order to fight, he was worried that he would lose his humanity. Like, that was very much a conflict early on in the series. But eventually, as Sukin grows and as he matures as a person, and as he falls in love with Mocha more by the end of the series, he's willing to give up that humanity to make this sacrifice for the sake of, to save Mocha's life, the woman he loves more than anything in the world. And especially what I love about this moment is not just sort of like the whole beauty of it, of this act of pure love, but also the fact that Sukune has no regrets when he makes this, because in the end of the day, he was willing to do anything give up anything for the sake of the woman he loves. And it's just it just the relationship between Tsukune and Mocha is my favorite romance in all of fiction. And I love this moment so much because it not only showcases the willingness someone is willing to go for the person they love, but it also just shows how much Tsukune truly does love Mocha and how much he is willing to protect her. And it's just so, it's heroic, it's romantic, it's beautiful, it's everything I love about the manga, solidified in an amazing moment. And I love this series. Okay, the amount of love I have for Rosario+Vampire is insane, and I know some people don't like it because it's just not their cup of tea. But this manga, it's a manga that speaks to me. That just, okay, I know this is some pretentious, but I mean, it's something that connects with me that I don't think a lot of media is capable to do in the same way, and because of that, it means so much to me. All right, now then, let's see. Okay, yeah, we should probably put this one here. Okay, and now time for cropping. Cropping. Let's do it, baby. Woo! Oh, my voice is going out because I keep talking so much. Alright. Let's see if we can... Oops. Bad idea. Okay, we gotta zoom out. There we go. Now then, let's see. Okay, I do a bit more cropping. All right, there we go. Perfected it. Mwah! So pretty. Okay, so this is the panel I ended up choosing for my favorite manga, FullMetal Alchemist, and I chose this spread specifically because I feel like whenever I look at this spread, I think victory. Because not only is it Ed and Al returning back home with their bodies restored. Well, for the most part, because Ed still's got his automail leg, but he's okay with that. He's fine with that. Getting his arm back and getting Al's body back was enough for him. It makes him happy. But I think what makes this one so good, it is them coming back to Winry, their closest companion in Edward's love interest. Like them finally being able to come back happy, because like throughout the manga, Winry is always worried about the two. She's always wanting to help them get their bodies back, and she's always like trying her best to cheer them on, to be like their emotional support. And so this is something, them getting their bodies back is not just is been saying this just is important to her as it is to them. So to see them coming back with their bodies restored, finally being able to achieve that happy ending that they thought would be impossible, that they on some levels always feared they couldn't achieve, and to see them finally get it, to see them get this happy ending they've worked so damn hard for, to finally have it. And it's emotional. It's pure victory in its purest form, in its most happiness. It's happiness, victory, and joy, and it's everything. And I love this manga. I really do. And I need to reread FullMetal Alchemist, because it's been forever since I've read it. But it's still a manga that's just like meant so much to me emotionally. All right. Now then, we're up to the last three. And hopefully we can end this soon before my throat goes out, because I can't keep speaking. All right. Okay, now let's see. I feel like this one's got a bit more. Yeah. No, here, let's put this here. Now then, cropping. There we go. Okay, so next up. So now we have one of my sixth favorite manga, Bleach. And so I picked this specifically because probably one of the best aspects of Bleach, or at least one of the things I really like, is Ichigo coming to terms with his identity and his heritage, and sort of like seeing that progress throughout the series. And I really love the moment in which he unlocks in which he finally discovers his true Zanpakuto by coming to truly understanding himself, not only by understanding both his Quincy, Hollow, and Soulbringer heritage, but also sort of coming to understand who he is by realizing that both Old Man Zetsuga and Hollow Ichigo, or White, are both him. That the blade itself, the Zangetsu, is him. that it basically symbolizes him coming to truly understanding himself, but I also feel like accepting himself too, because I feel like Ichigo is a character who has on some level had trouble accepting himself, or at least the parts of him that he couldn't completely understand, or which the parts of him he wasn't so sure about. But by the end of the series, not only has he learned to accept himself, he has learned to have pride in himself. And so him finally achieving his true Sanpakuto, I think, is a great realization of this moment. And if you notice, because sometimes this happens with online scans and stuff, the panel is a bit smudged because you see, because it's 2-page spread, but he's a bit off. But luckily, you won't be able to notice it from far away, because from here it looks normal. You're not going to notice it unless you zoom in. And I know that that's a bit of a hiccup, but sometimes you just gotta do what you want to do. So I am keeping this 2-page spread because it's really good, and I didn't want to use the one everybody else uses because I myself have used that one over and over again so much. So I wanted to use another spread that meant a lot to me. Well, I could have used the heart, but that's probably not going to work in a spread. That works probably in a moment collage, but not a favorite series collages and stuff. Alright, next up is Spirit Circle. So this is probably one of my favorite moments from the manga, with all the past lives coming together to sort of stop the very first life. And I love it too because I love about this conflict is the fact that they don't just sort of beat him just by force, but they beat him by helping him sort of come to understand. Because the thing about Fortuna, the reason why he kind of fights is because he believes that this second chance isn't for him, because he on some level believes that he himself is gone, but the point of reincarnation isn't that he is gone, that a part of him still remains. The reincarnation is every time you reincarnate, a part of yourself is still there, part of that cycle, part of that person. And so by sort of not only working together to stop him, but in some way confronting and helping understand this path, and sort of helping Fortuna sort of see that it's not over, it's just a new beginning. That's how reincarnation that's very much how the series portrays reincarnation. And I just really like that. It's just, not only is it very emotionally satisfying for a person who's read this manga and has come to grown to love all these different versions of the protagonist in his past lives, but also the idea that it's there, that this is in a way sort of a redemption for them to sort of move on from the past mistakes and to have that happiness they once thought was lost. And it's just, I don't know, it's really good. Again, all the past lives, all of them together, all of them sort of working together to comfort the very first life, Fortuna, who's basically the main series antagonist. It's really good. Okay, it's just, it's so good. And I've been saying that so many times. I'm sorry, I gotta get a vocabulary, people. I need to not vocabulary. I need to get a book full of new words to improve my vocabulary, because I am repeating myself way too much. Alright, last two. Let's do it before my throat goes out and I die. Yay. Okay. Time to crop this image a bit. Alright. There we go. And so I think I've talked about this one before, but okay. Not only... Okay, I love Deku as a character because he sort of embodies the things I love about superheroes, and that's that they want to save everybody. And what I think makes Deku a great portrayal, a great representation of those heroic ideal of what it means to be a hero, is the fact that he doesn't want to save just the innocent. He wants to save his enemies. He wants to save his villains. And sort of him coming to that conclusion that his arch enemy, the villain who's basically his arch enemy, I am not going to be able to pronounce his name. We're going to call him Shiggy, because I don't think I can pronounce his full name, because my brain is having a huge brain fart right now. But yeah, but Deku wanting to save Shiggy because he sort of recognizes that deep inside he is not this horrible monster. He's a scared boy who was never saved, who needed somebody to help him, and nobody was able to come because they would rather avert their eyes and wait for somebody else to fix the problem they hear themselves. And for Deku to be that hero, the person that Shiggy needs to save him, and for him to want this desire is so powerful. Also, this artwork, this spread looks so cool. I love manga artwork and stuff in which it's just characters in this, where it's I really love the use of pure white backgrounds to focus on the characters in this important moment, because it does a really good job at showing just how much this moment matters, how much the world around it isn't what's important. What's more important is this moment right here. All right, last up, Sailor Moon. Now this spread is at the very end of the manga, because it's like at the end of the collage, because it's definitely the brightest and lightest of all the different spreads, because it's because there's a very lack of solid black ink. It's very much pure white, which makes it a bit hard to see. Which I've had some people complain about this panel being a bit hard to see in my previous collages, but I still stick with it because it sort of embodies the most important aspect of Sailor Moon for me, which is sort of like the relationship between Usagi and Momora, because it is Usagi's love for Momora that keeps her going throughout the series. It is this, because Sailor Moon is very much a series about true love and hope winning out in the face of despair, in the face of pain and suffering. As long as you hold on to that hope, as long as you hold on to that love, those feelings, even if the person isn't with you in the moment, as long as you hold on to this beautiful sensation, this beautiful emotion, this beautiful feeling you've shared with another human being, as long as you hold on to that, and as long as you hold up to your hope, you can keep moving forward in the face of despair. You can achieve happiness. And that's what I love about Sailor Moon, because it's a series that very much indulges in the love and joy of the world around you, and choosing to hold on to that instead of giving up, instead of like accepting pain or misery. It's a series about embracing the love and hope you have and using it to keep moving forward every day, every moment. And that, I think, is not just a powerful message for girls, because Sailor Moon's a shoujo manga. I feel like it's an important message for everybody. Okay, and that's all. Boom. Here's the finished collage, all in total. I hope you like it, because I spent a while trying to pick out the best pictures and sort of like figuring out why they work for me, and I hope I was able to do a good job at like arranging them in order from like darkest to lightest. I hope I didn't screw it up. You can tell me in the comments if you would change anything. Like, if you're familiar with any series, if there are any other pictures you would rather use for the collage, let me know in the comments. And if you want more of these vlog type videos of me making collages, please let me know, because I'd really like to make them. I'm sorry for anybody who's waiting for the Riku and Terra video. I generally don't know when it's going to come out, because I'm really bad at procrastinating on stuff, and writer's block is a fucking bitch. It sucks. I hate it. And also college is all that junk. Life is messy, and you're not gonna get stuff done on time, and you don't know when you're gonna get stuff done. And I am sorry for all the excuses, but that's just how it be sometimes. Okay. If you like the video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more of my content, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.